Hello everyone. Imagine waking up in a world where people no longer need mouse and keyboard or controller to aim in Call of Duty. They plug in headsets and then whatever their brain wants to do in the game, it will be reflected in the game. So say you have your headset, right? You're looking at this canvas here and then you think, oh, I want to aim at that window. And you say, oh, I want to aim at this door. And you say, oh, I want to aim at that balcony. And then your operator will automatically react with exact precision. So if you want to aim at that small blue thing, your operator will do that. So there will be no need for mechanical input stuff like a controller or a mouse and keyboard, and everything will be reflected as exactly you want it to be in the game. So this is exactly basically what you want to accomplish when you are trying to figure out the settings of your controller. In this video, I'm going to give you some general guidelines that you need to follow when you are trying to figure out your settings. I'm gonna be honest with you, no bullshit. There is no magical recipe for what settings are the best. It doesn't fucking exist. Everyone will prefer something different than the other person. Okay, every streamer will play on different settings than the other person. Why is that? Because everyone's brain is surprisingly different, right? So everyone wants to see different stuff in the game. For me, what's really important, because I come from a mouse and keyboard background, is that I want these fast turns and fast flicks. Okay, if I push into this door and the enemy is here and I am looking there, right? Like when I do this, I want to be able to flick very, very fast and shoot at them. That's what I want to do. All right. So it's really important what everyone wants. Let's say you don't care about having a fast flicking time and you care most about maximizing your aim assist input, in which case you might opt for a lower sensitivity, which is completely fine. It's completely up to you what you really want from the game. Okay, you need to adjust these settings in a way that reflect what you want from the game. Okay, so I'm going to show you what my thought process was when I was adjusting these settings, and then hopefully you can do the same. The first thing I did was I changed these buttons. So after playing for a while with a standard layout, I noticed that I use the interact and reload button and the switch weapon and armor plate button more often than I would use the lethal equipment or the tactical equipment. All right, so what I did was that I remapped the reload to R1 and I remapped the armor plate and the switch weapon to L1, and then I remapped lethal to triangle and the tactical to the square. All right, so this is the first thing that I did, because I personally think this is what would work best for me, because I play a lot of Warzone, right? I need to loot a lot of stuff, so I need to like spam the interact button and pick up loot as fast as I can. But I also play it all the time, and I also switch guns. For example, if I'm shooting at someone and then I start reloading but someone pushes me, I want to be able to cancel really fast. Or if I am going to shoot, I ran out of ammo, right? I need to be able to switch gun really fast and then start shooting. So as you know, I have a DualSense Edge. It only has 2 buttons in the back, and I cannot have 4 buttons like the SCUF controllers or other controllers have. All right, so this is the first thing that I did, because it just works. It works perfectly for me. If you, for example, prioritize pinging the enemy more than reloading and plating or whatever, then you can remap the L1 or the R1 to the pinging action. It's completely up to you what you guys want to accomplish, you know? So this is the first thing that I changed. The second most important setting, which is the most controversial one, I would say, is the horizontal and vertical stick sensitivity. So I haven't really fucked with the advanced horizontals. I tried to follow some advice I saw on Twitter, but that did not really work. It felt super weird, so I switched it back to its normal setting. But the logic I had behind choosing 1010 was that I needed to have that fast turning speed, that when I yank my analog stick to the right or to the left really fast, I want to be able to turn really fast. Okay, so that was what personally works for me. But then I also have precision rings, right? So, and precision rings also factor in this, because the second I remove my precision ring, my sensitivity becomes extremely fast, and I won't be able to really control it. So this is completely up to you. I would say start with like 6, 7, maybe 5, 7, or whatever, and then try to figure out which one feels the most natural to you. All right, and do these kind of tests. Say you want to look at that door, all right, and you are looking at this tree. You need to be able to like flick and then look at that door. You won't be looking at this, you won't be looking at that. Say you want to do 180, right? You flick and then you do an exact 180. Say you want to flick on the guys like standing there, right? You can do this, and then you start looking directly at that. So you need to figure out a setting or like a sensitivity that would allow you to do or reflect what you want to do in the game exactly as you want it to, okay? Because the worst thing that can happen is that you have a sensitivity that will always result in you overcorrecting or undercorrecting when you're trying to flick onto enemies. But for me, it's really important to have that fast turning speed and that ability to basically react fast to things in game, especially when you are panicking and trying to shoot at someone. Okay, so this is the first thing that you need to do. The second thing is the sensitivity multiplier. Yeah, there is really nothing special here. I haven't really changed much. Vertical aim axis, I haven't changed much. Tactical sprint, I don't really use this that much, so I don't really have it. I changed the ADS sensitivity multiplier on focus when I'm using sniper to 1, because I have this precision ring, and then it makes it really difficult to aim. And these are my ADS sensitivity multiplier per zoom. I have 0.7, 0.7, and then with the snipers I have 1.4, 1.4, 1.4, because the precision ring makes it really difficult to aim with a sniper. Okay, so I chose I chose 0.7 when I am aiming with an SMG or with an AR. The reason for that is because it's really important to have a low sensitivity when you are ADSing, so that you will have maximized aim assist input. Okay, so it's really important that you do that. So yeah, so you will, as I explained in my previous video, it's you are not playing on the same sensitivity all the time. You are playing on your hip fire sensitivity, but also on your ADS sensitivity. Target aim assist is obviously on. Aim assist type is default. I haven't really changed it. Third person ADS correction type assist, obviously. Motion sensor behavior, of course, the gyro, it's not really useful. Automatic tactical sprint is on. Slide maintain sprint, this is also really important that it's on, so that you will slide really fast. Actually, this is really important, that actually if you don't have this on, you will immediately notice the difference. Single tap run, so that when you tap the left stick, right, you will be able to run fast. Grounded mantle off, automatic airborne mantle off, automatic ground mantle off. The reason for this is that when you have one of them on and you slide cancel near an obstacle, like, oh my god, I can slide cancel, and you slide cancel near an obstacle like that, usually it registers as a mantle, and that cost me a lot of gunfights. Okay, so I would rather have it clunky and not doing the automatic mantle and letting me do it and letting me do everything by myself, rather than having some incorrect input and slide canceling towards obstacles and then automatically mantling objects I don't want to mantle, which cost me a lot of gunfights actually. So I have these off. Yeah. So yeah, I have slide dive behavior hybrid. I watched Shotzi's video on movement actually, and he recommended the hybrid way of dolphin diving. This is actually really important. It allows you to mantle off edges like this without having to hold. Like when you do that, you can just mantle off edges when you want to, just like on mouse and keyboard. It's actually a feature that I really miss from mouse and keyboard. Okay, what else? Plunging underwater free. I don't know what any of these things do actually. That one is movement based. ADS is hold, hold, hold. Equipment behavior, hold. Instant on toggle. Tap to interact. Obviously, I don't want to use the hold to interact because that would take a lot of time. Contextual tap is also not good. Or prioritize interact or prioritize reload, because sometimes it's kind of random. You don't know which action you will get from tapping the interact button. Armor plate, apply all. Obviously, ADS stick swap off. Backpack control, yeah. So these stuff, I haven't really paid a lot of attention to them because I don't really care, but feel free to copying them. There is also the dead zones. So this is what the dead zones that I have, but obviously this depends entirely on your own controller. So it's very different from one controller to the other. I put 5 to eliminate every stick drift. So stick drift with my controller is actually really weird in a way that it stick drifts. So now I'm trying to mimic stick drift, right? It's stick drift to the last direction that I put. So if I'm looking like this, right, and then I leave my controller, without that dead zone thing, it will keep stick drifting to the left. It's really strange. Okay, but I notice also like the response on the controller is increased by adjusting dead zones and figuring out what dead zones work for you. So I'm going to show you my DS4 profile as well. Don't pay attention to any of this. The one thing you really need to look at is the right stick. Yeah, so the right stick is the most important one. So if you put this one to radio, so dead zone and anti-dead zone. So these are the settings that you need to play with until they can really reflect what you are trying to accomplish from the game. Okay, and enhanced precision is the one that you also want to choose. I only recommend this. Okay, the rest, this is completely up to you. You really need to sit down and you really need to test which settings work for you personally. I can't tell you this is the best, these are the best settings, this is the magical recipe that this is going to give you the best aim assist, the best reaction time, is gonna carry you all the way to iridescent. That's not true. It's bullshit. It really is bullshit. Everyone is different, everyone plays different, everyone's setup is different, everyone's controller is different. There is no correct answer, there is no magical recipe. Biffle plays on 7.7, Zidaner plays on 6.6, Opix plays on fucking 2020. It's really different from one person to the other. So there is no real recipe that's gonna give you the best results in the game. You need to figure out what works for you personally. Okay, the general guidelines, so as a quick recap, the general guidelines is that you want to be able to react fast, you want to be able to look really fast, but your ADS multiplier should not be really high, so that you can also profit from aim assist. And I made an entire video on dynamic and on the curve, on the aiming curves and how they matter as well, so you can also have a look at that. So I would say the first thing you can change is the aiming curve, set those things up, and then you go in the game and you adjust the rest basically. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. In case you have any questions, or if I can help you with anything else, I would be glad. So please leave me a comment, And thank you so much for the subscribers. Actually, it really means a lot that you guys are subscribing to my channel. And I'm also having a lot of fun doing these videos and answering your questions. So, yeah, thank you, and have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.